Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the Midday News. The headlines. President Ramnath Kovind to give away the National Sports Awards 2021 at Rashtrapati Bhavan this evening. Union Home Minister Amit Shah urges people to speak in local languages and says regional languages can only be strengthened when Hindi language is rich and prosperous. Law Minister Kiren Rijiju launches Citizens Tele Law mobile app to empower people through pre-litigation advice. Over 111 crore 40 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.26%. Partial lockdown in Western Europe to tackle upsurge in COVID-19 infections. Supreme Court suggests 2-day lockdown in Delhi NCR to bring down severe air pollution level. Air quality level in Delhi and adjoining cities plunges into near emergency levels. Railways issues order to discontinue special tag for mail and express trains and revert to pre-pandemic ticket prices with immediate effect. India calls for collective resolve for mitigation and adaptation actions to combat climate change at COP26 Glasgow meet. And in T20 World Cricket, Australia to clash with New Zealand in the summit clash tomorrow at the Dubai International Stadium. As India created history by administering over 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. President Ramnath Kovind will give away the National Sports Awards 2021 at Rashtrapati Bhavan this evening. Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award will be given to 12 sportspersons. They are athlete Neeraj Chopra, wrestler Ravi Kumar, boxer Lavlina Borgohain, hockey players Srijesh PR and Manpreet Singh, para-shooter Avni Lekra, para-athlete Sumit Antil, para-shuttlers Pramod Bhagat and Krishna Nagar, para-shooter Manish Narwal, cricketer Mitali Raj and footballer Sunil Chetri. More from our correspondent.
35 sportspersons will receive Arjuna Award this year. They include para-paddler Bhabina Patel, para-archer Harvinder Singh, athlete Arpinder Singh, sabre fencer Bhavani Devi, cricketer Shikhar Dhawan, tennis player Ankita Raina, shooter Abhishek Verma, Malkham player Himani Uttam Parab and boxer Simranjit Kaur. 18 hockey players including Virendra Lakra, Rupinder Pal Singh, Amit Rohidas, Vandana Kataria and Monica will get Arjuna Award. Athletics coach T.P. Oshep and Radha Krishnan Nair P, cricket coach Sarkar Talwar, hockey coach Sarpal Singh and Preetam Sivaj, kabaddi coach Ashan Kumar, swimming coach Tapan Kumar Panigrahi, boxing coach Sandhya Gurung, para-shooting coach Jaiprakash Nautiyal and table tennis coach Subramanyam Raman will receive Dronacharya Award. Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement in Sports and Games will be given to Lekha Kesi for boxing, Abhijit Kunte for chess, Davinder Singh for hockey, Vikas Kumar for kabaddi and Sajjan Singh for wrestling. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah today urged people of the country to speak in their local languages and said that regional languages can only be strengthened when Hindi language will be rich and prosperous. Inaugurating the first Akhil Bharatiya Rajbhasha Sammelan at Deen Dayal Hastkala Sankul in Varanasi, the Home Minister said today his ministry is doing maximum work in Hindi language. Lamenting about the situation of Hindi language in the country, the Union Home Minister said Hindi language was neglected for 75 years after independence, and from today, a new chapter is beginning with the first Akhil Bharatiya Rajbhasha Sammelan.
कोई भी सरकारी परिपत्र अधिसूचनाएं तब तक लोकभोग्य नहीं होती है जब तक जन आंदोलन में परिवर्तित नहीं होती, और ये राजभाषा को गति देने का जो जरिया है अखिल भारतीय राजभाषा सम्मेलन, उसको भी दिल्ली के गलियारों से बाहर निकालने का हमने 2019 में ही निर्णय कर लिया। मगर 2 साल कोरोना काल रहा, हम नहीं कर पाए, परंतु आज मुझे आनंद है कि योगानुयोग है, ईश्वर कृपा ही है कि ये नई शुभ शुरुआत उस वर्ष में होने जा रही है जो हमारा आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है।
Underlining the role of Varanasi city in the promotion of Hindi language, Amit Shah said Kashi is like Gomukh to the Hindi language, and the language originates from Kashi and flourishes throughout the world.
काशी भाषा का गौमुख है। भाषाओं का उद्भव, भाषाओं का शुद्धिकरण, व्याकरण को शुद्ध करना और व्याकरण को लोकभोग्य बनाने में चाहे कोई भी भाषा हो, काशी का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, और इसलिए इस सम्मेलन का बहुत बड़ा महत्व है। मित्रों, आज जो हम हिंदी बोल रहे हैं, लिखते हैं, उसका जन्म यही काशी के अंदर, यही बनारस के अंदर हुआ है। भारतेंदु बाबू हरिश्चंद्र को कौन भूल सकता है। हमने यही बनारस से ही खड़ी बोली का क्रमवार विकास देखा है, और एक खड़ी बोली का जो क्रमवार विकास हुआ है और एक समृद्ध भाषा बनकर आज हिंदी हमारे सामने खड़ी है, इसकी पूरी यात्रा को मैं प्रणाम करता हूं, और वो हमारे लिए हमेशा प्रेरणा का स्रोत है।
Senior BJP leader Amit Shah is on a 2-day visit to Uttar Pradesh. He will address a rally in Azamgarh after laying the foundation stone of the state university.
As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Law Minister Kiran Rijiju today launched Citizens Tele-Law mobile app and felicitated frontline functionaries at a function in New Delhi. This app would connect the beneficiaries directly with panel lawyers offering legal advice and consultation. Post this launch, this mobile app in Android version would be available on Google Play Store for download. He said this app will go a long way in serving the people of the country in terms of legal aspects. Mr. Rijiju said that there is a need to bring changes in our working system with a view to empower citizens and to give a boost to the development of the country. He said it is the responsibility of the government to ensure justice to the poorest of the poor through whatever services they need.
ये जो टेली लॉ आज के जमाने में एक वर्चुअल मोड में, जो आज हम लोगों ने काफी एप्स भी लॉन्च किए हैं कि जिसके जरिए लोगों को हम लीगल एड बहुत जल्दी और आसानी तरीके से दे सकते हैं, वो सारा जो कार्यक्रम जस्टिस डिपार्टमेंट देखते हैं, इसको मैं बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट, बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण मानता हूं।
More than 111 crore 40 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 58 lakh 42,000 doses were administered yesterday. India reported over 11,000 new cases during the past 24 hours. India's active caseload now stands at 1 lakh 36,308, which is the lowest in 274 days. The ministry said the recovery rate is currently at 98.26% and it is the highest since March of last year. Daily positivity rate is at 0.94%, which is less than 2% for the past 40 days. The government has said that over 123 crore 19 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through the centre's free-of-cost channel and through direct state procurement category. The Health Ministry said more than 18 crore 53 lakh balanced and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with states and UTs to be administered.
The Railways has issued an order to discontinue the special tag for mail and express trains and revert to pre-pandemic ticket prices with immediate effect. In a letter to zonal railways yesterday, the Railway Board said trains will now be operated with their regular numbers and fares will revert to pre-pandemic prices. We spoke to Minister of State for Railways, Rao Saheb Patil, about it.
जो कोविड के समय रेलगाड़ियां बंद थी या कुछ कोविड का प्रकोप कम होने के बाद कुछ गाड़ियां स्पेशल ट्रेन बोल के चलाई जा रही थी, उनका किराया भी ज्यादा था, लेकिन अब स्थिति कंट्रोल में आने के बाद 1700 ट्रेनें लगभग हमने शुरू कर दी है, जिससे किराया कम होगा और यात्रियों को सुविधा भी मिलेगी और ज्यादा से ज्यादा ट्रेनें चलेगी। जो पहले ट्रेनें चल रही कोरोना काल में, उसका किराया जो था अब सामान्य हो गया है जो कोरोना के पहले था। अब ट्रेनें शुरू तो हो गई है, लेकिन इसके बाद भी हम लोगों से आह्वान करते हैं कि कोविड की स्थिति सुधरी है लेकिन फिर ना आए, इसके लिए सावधानी बरतना होगी। कोविड का जो प्रोटोकॉल है वो संभालना होगा।
The air quality level in the national capital Delhi and adjoining cities has plunged to near emergency levels. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, the air quality index AQI was recorded 462 at 10 a.m. today, which falls in the severe category. A layer of eye-stinging thick smog is lingering over Delhi NCR. Authorities have advised people to limit outdoor activities and told the government and private offices to cut vehicle use by at least 30% by working from home, carpooling and optimizing field activities. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of India today took a serious view of the severe pollution engulfing Delhi NCR and told the government to consider declaring 2-day lockdown to curb the pollution. Hearing a plea to check air pollution in the National Capital Region, Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana-led Supreme Court bench asked if emergency measures like lockdown for a few days can be imposed to tackle the AQI levels. The top court also observed that air pollution is a serious situation and the deteriorating air quality has compelled people to wear masks even at home. The bench also asked the Delhi government about what happened to its decision to install smog towers and emission control projects. The court also questioned about the ban on firecrackers and its implications.
The Department of Expenditure under the Ministry of Finance has released an amount of over 8,453 crore rupees as health sector grants for rural and urban local bodies of 19 states. The grants have been released as per the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission. The 15th Finance Commission, in its report for the period from 2021-22 to 2025-26, has recommended a total grant of 4,27,911 crore rupees to local governments. The ministry said health grants to the remaining 9 states will be released after their proposals are received from the states to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Nations have softened their stand on fossil fuels phase-out at the COP26 Glasgow meet. A new draft of the final deal that could emerge from the COP26 climate summit appears to have watered down its call to curb fossil fuels, but did not remove all mention of the need for their phase-out. The texts from Glasgow are the first UN climate papers to make a specific mention of fossil fuels. Meanwhile, India has called for collective resolve for accelerated mitigation and adaptation actions to combat climate change. A statement read by Union Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Bhupender Yadav at the Conference of Parties said this message will have credibility only if accompanied by an equally strong resolve of developed country parties to mobilize and provide enhanced climate finance to developing country parties. The outcome of COP26 must reflect the urgency in scaling up finance and other means of implementation support to developing countries, he stressed at the Stocktake plenary. The 2022 edition of the Conference of Parties, or the 27th COP, will take place at Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt.
In Kerala, heavy rains continue to lash the southern and central parts of the state, wreaking widespread damage in Thiruvananthapuram and Kollam districts. A report from our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent.
Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that immediate relief camps will be opened in landslide and flood-prone areas as heavy rainfall is expected in coming hours in central and southern Kerala. Shutters of major dams in the region are raised as the water level rose. Control rooms are opened. High alert is issued in hilly and landslide-prone regions. Orange alert is declared in Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Pathanamthitta, Alappuzha, Kottayam and Idukki districts today. Meanwhile, water level in Idukki and Mullaperiyar dams are also rising. State Water Resource Minister Roshi Agustin said that shutters of Idukki Dam will not be open today. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Union Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Dr. L. Murugan said that Tamil Nadu state government was lacking in long vision and has not planned beforehand and prepared for the northeast monsoon. The minister assured the support of the central government to the state government in handling the monsoon crisis. He thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah for their support to the people of Tamil Nadu. The minister visited the rain-affected suburban areas around Chennai. Meanwhile, heavy rains lashed several places in Kanyakumari district, severely affecting normal life of people for the third day today.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. President Ramnath Kovind to give away the National Sports Awards 2021 at Rashtrapati Bhavan this evening. Union Home Minister Amit Shah urges people to speak in local languages and says regional languages can only be strengthened when Hindi language is rich and prosperous. Law Minister Kiran Rijiju launches Citizens Tele-Law mobile app to empower people through pre-litigation advice. Over 111 crore 40 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.26%. Partial lockdown in Western Europe to tackle upsurge in COVID-19 infections. Supreme Court suggests 2-day lockdown in Delhi NCR to bring down severe air pollution level. Air quality level in Delhi and adjoining cities plunges to near emergency levels. Railways issues order to discontinue special tag for mail and express trains and revert to pre-pandemic ticket prices with immediate effect. India calls for collective resolve for mitigation and adaptation actions to combat climate change at COP26 Glasgow meet. And in T20 World Cup, Australia to clash with New Zealand in the summit clash tomorrow at the Dubai International Stadium. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alert.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead the celebrations of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav on upcoming Monday. The government has decided to celebrate the birth anniversary of Bhagwan Birsa Munda, which falls on the 15th of November, as Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. Birsa Munda is revered as Bhagwan by tribal communities across the country. Bhagwan Birsa Munda was a young freedom fighter and a tribal leader whose spirit of activism in the late 19th century is remembered to be a strong mark of protest against British rule in India. Bhagwan Birsa Munda was born on the 15th of November 1875 in Ulihatu village in Lohardaga district of the then Bengal Presidency, presently Khuti district of Jharkhand. The freedom fighter and tribal leader had spearheaded a tribal religious movement against the British colonial rule to mark the earliest revolt in the history of the Indian independence movement. He died at the young age of 25 after being arrested from Jamkopai forest in Chakradharpur on the 3rd of February 1900. Birsa Munda's slogan threatening the British Raj Abwa Rajate Jana Maharani Raj Tundu Jana, which means let the kingdom of the Queen be ended and our kingdom be established, is still remembered in the areas of Jharkhand, Odisha, Bihar. A report from our Ranchi correspondent.
Commemorating the sacrifices of the tribal communities and their efforts towards India's freedom, birth anniversary of Bhagwan Birsa Munda will be celebrated as Janjatiya Gaurav Divas on 15th of November every year. A state-of-art Birsa Munda Freedom Fighter Tribal Museum worth ₹142 crores has also been built at Old Central Jail premises in Ranchi, where Birsa Munda breathed his last on June 9, 1900. A 25-feet statue of Birsa Munda has been installed at the jail along with statues of other freedom fighters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually inaugurate the museum on November 15th. Shilpi, AIR News, Ranchi.
The 52nd edition of the International Film Festival of India will be held in Goa from the 20th to the 28th of this month. An award named as Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in Cinema is instituted from this year. Eminent film directors Martin Scorsese and Ishtvan Sabo will be honoured with the Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award at IFFI. A report.
On the occasion of the birth centenary of Satyajit Ray, the Directorate of Film Festivals will pay tribute to him through a special retrospective section at IFFI. Eminent film directors Martin Scorsese and István Szabó will be conferred for their immense contributions to world cinema. István Szabó is one of the most critically acclaimed Hungarian film directors of the past few decades. He is known for the masterpieces such as Father and Mephisto. Szabó's films are based on the tradition of European auteurism that represents many aspects of the political and psychological conflicts of Central Europe's recent history. They are often inspired by his own biography. István Szabó's greatest international success came when he won the Academy Award in the Best Foreign Language category for Mephisto in 1981. Martin Scorsese is known as one of the major figures of the new Hollywood era. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential directors in the film industry. Scorsese's films have consistently garnered critical acclaim, with 9 nominations for the Oscars for the Best Director category. Scorsese's famous body of work includes masterpieces such as Taxi Driver, New York, New York, The Departed, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Irishman, among others. With Aarti Rana, Tripti Srivastav, AIR News, Delhi.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alert. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404, issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव। Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
13th November is the death anniversary of Kaloji Narayan Rao. Kaloji was born on the 9th of September 1914 in Bijapur. Kaloji's elder brother, who was an Urdu poet, played an important role in shaping his personality. Although he studied Telugu from an early age, he also wrote poetry in Marathi, Kannada, Hindi and Urdu. During his student days and later, he was deeply influenced by and participated in popular movements of the time, like the Arya Samaj, Andhra Mahasabha activities.
Being a social reformer, Kaloji created awareness among the people of Telangana with his poetry. He gave the slogan of
"Birth is yours, death is yours, but life is meant for the country."
An ardent fan of Mahatma Gandhi and Jai Prakash Narayan, Kaloji took an active part in Satyagraha and the library movement, which intended to spread literary and reading culture among the masses since the early 1930s. In his poetry collection, Na Godawa, My Protest, Kaloji provides a framework for his life, literature and activism throughout.
He also wrote fervently against the Nizam's autocratic rule. Kaloji was imprisoned by the Nizam of Hyderabad for his active participation in the freedom movement of Hyderabad state.
Kaloji was a member of the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly during 1958 to 1960. He was awarded the Padma Vibhushan in 1992.
I am today's reality, yesterday's dream and tomorrow's memory,
wrote Kaloji, who passed away in 2002. His body was donated to Kakatiya Medical College in Warangal for research according to his wish. The Telangana government honoured Kaloji's birthday as Telangana Language Day.
I did not enter the field of literature to become a great poet or to write great epics. I was anyway giving speeches as part of movements, but realized that a poem would be more effective than several speeches. In present times, I am penning my anguish, or na godava. It is also a reflection of the society.
సంబంధించినటువంటిది నా స్వంతమైన విషయం కాకుండా ఈ సమాజం విషయంలో కూడా దేశ పరిస్థితుల విషయం చెప్పుకునేటువంటి.
Today we will talk about Minjur Bhaktavatsalam, who was born on 9th of October 1897 in the Madras Presidency. He studied law and practiced as an advocate in the Madras High Court. He involved himself in the freedom movement right from an early age.
Bhaktavatsalam joined the Indian independence movement event during graduation. He joined the Indian National Congress and became a member of the Madras Provincial Congress Committee in 1922.
Bhaktavatsalam started the daily newspaper India, which he managed till 1933.
He was injured during the Salt Satyagraha at Vedaranyam. He was arrested in 1932 for conducting India's Independence Day celebrations and spent 6 months in prison.
In the 1936 municipal body elections, Bhaktavatsalam was elected to the Madras City Corporation and served as deputy mayor. At the age of 40, Bhaktavatsalam entered the Madras Assembly, successfully winning the Tiruvallur seat in 1937 election. Bhaktavatsalam participated in the Quit India movement agitations and was jailed by the British.
He led the Indian National Congress during the 1950s and served as the Chief Minister of present-day Tamil Nadu, the Madras Presidency from 1963 to 1967. Following the defeat of the Indian National Congress in 1967 elections, Bhaktavatsalam partially retired from politics.
He died on 13th of February 1987 at the age of 89.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar, AIR News ke Sang. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte has announced Western Europe's first partial COVID lockdown of the winter, with 3 weeks of restrictions for shops, sport and catering. He said the annoying drastic move was in response to record infections and rising intensive care cases. Latest daily figures on Friday showed 16,287 new COVID cases, just short of Thursday's record, but up a third on the previous week. Austria is also expected to back a lockdown for unvaccinated people this weekend.
In ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Australia will take on New Zealand in the summit clash tomorrow at the Dubai International Stadium. All India Radio is broadcasting ball-by-ball commentary of the World Cup matches.
Some more news from IFFI. The Tamil film Sweet Biryani has been selected to be screened at the Indian Panorama segment in the 52nd International Film Festival at Goa. The film is simple and powerful, and the plot revolves around a delivery boy and his soulful experiences in a day. Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky and shallow fog. It recorded a minimum temperature of 11 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 26 degrees. Mumbai was partly cloudy. It noted a minimum temperature of 23 degrees, maximum expected to be around 34. Chennai is likely to have thunderstorm with rain. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President Ramnath Kovind to give away the National Sports Awards 2021 at Rashtrapati Bhavan this evening. Union Home Minister Amit Shah urges people to speak in local languages and says regional languages can only be strengthened when Hindi language is rich and prosperous. Law Minister Kiren Rijiju launches Citizens Tele-Law mobile app to empower people through pre-litigation advice. Over 111 crore 40 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.26%. Partial lockdown in Western Europe to tackle upsurge in COVID-19 infections. Supreme Court suggests 2-day lockdown in Delhi NCR to bring down severe air pollution. Air quality in Delhi and adjoining cities plunges to near emergency levels. Railways issues order to discontinue special tag for mail and express trains and revert to pre-pandemic ticket prices with immediate effect. India calls for collective resolve for mitigation and adaptation actions to combat climate change at COP26 Glasgow meet. And in T20 World Cricket, Australia to take on New Zealand in the summit clash tomorrow at the Dubai International Stadium. And with that, we end the midday news.